Have you ever pondered the origins of Christianity in Britain? How did this religion manage to find its footing in this remote segment of the Roman Empire? Was the translation of the Bible into Latin instrumental in this development? Join us as we delve into the annals of history to reveal the captivating narrative of Christianity's early expansion and the role of the Latin Bibles. This tale's roots are buried deep in the East, in regions like Judea and Asia Minor, where the seeds of Christian faith were first sown. From these regions, Christianity began its journey, akin to a river flowing towards the ocean, gradually seeping into the western corners of the world. It traversed through diverse landscapes, reaching the farthest corners of England, the balmy southern parts of France, and even the northern territories of Italy. This journey was neither smooth nor easy. It was filled with trials and tribulations. Yet, the early Christians displayed an indomitable spirit. They stood strong, displaying an unparalleled level of resilience and heroism. They faced persecution, endured hardships, and overcame numerous obstacles, but they never wavered from their faith. Their unwavering belief in their religion played a crucial role in shaping the history of Christianity. They were the pioneers who set the stage for the spread of their faith across the Western world. Their legacy is a testament to their devotion and resilience. It stands as a beacon of hope, illuminating the path for future generations of Christians. They laid the foundation on which the edifice of Christianity was built, influencing its practices and teachings till date. The early Christians in these regions displayed remarkable heroism and resilience, standing firm in their faith, even in the face of persecution and hardship. The first believers in Britain exhibited extraordinary fortitude, persisting in their faith even as the pagan Anglo-Saxons mounted attacks on their homeland. The resolve and courage they showed during these challenging times should not be underestimated. They stood their ground against the invading forces, even as they saw their lands ravaged, their homes destroyed, and their communities torn apart. Their dedication to their faith was unwavering, and their commitment to preserving the teachings of Christ was nothing short of heroic. Amid the turmoil, the British Christians residing in Scotland moved in to fill the power vacuum left by the departing papal authorities after the demise of Augustine. This notable figure was a missionary appointed by the Pope with the mission to convert England in 596 AD. His death marked a turning point in the religious landscape of Britain, ushering in a new era where Christianity in Britain started to develop independently from Rome. This is not to say that Rome had no influence on Christianity in Britain. However, it's important to note that it was not the sole source of inspiration. In fact, some scholars propose an intriguing theory that British Christianity may have had origins in Asia Minor. It's believed that early Christian missionaries were responsible for transporting the faith there. This theory, while not universally accepted, offers a fascinating perspective on the complex and diverse roots of British Christianity. Supporting this theory is the evidence of certain rituals in Ireland that bear a striking resemblance to those in Asia Minor. These similarities suggest that there may have been a cultural exchange between these regions, possibly facilitated by early Christian missionaries. One such custom was observing Sabbath not on Sunday, but on Saturday, the seventh day of the week. Since England, France, and Italy were once part of the Roman Empire, the first translations of the Bible in these regions took place in Latin. This is a story rooted in time, originating from the time when Latin was the lingua franca, the common language of communication. These early Latin translations were not just scriptures, but they were precious possessions venerated by early Christians. They were there right from the dawn of Christianity in these regions, before the church in Rome started to ordain missionaries to venture into the Western territories around 250 AD. These Latin Bibles were not just books, but symbols of faith and devotion, which were held in high regard, enshrined in the hearts of the Western people. This deep love and respect for the Latin Bibles was so intense that the people boldly refused to replace them with the Vulgate. The Vulgate was a newer Latin translation of the Bible that was proposed and endorsed by the Church in Rome. However, the people's unwavering loyalty to their beloved Latin Bibles was unshaken. They politely denied accepting this new version. This act of rebellion, this resistance, was especially profound among the Western Christians. They objected to changing the sacred scriptures and showed defiance against the authority of Rome by not accepting the Vulgate. This resistance was particularly strong among the Western Christians who refused to bow to Rome's authority. These Latin versions had a certain purity, a simplicity and authenticity that the more scholarly Vulgate lacked. They exemplified a unique charm, a kind of linguistic magic that was compelling and endearing. The Latin language, in its purest form, was able to capture the essence of the scriptures in a way that was profound yet simple. It was this charm that made these translations linger for a prolonged period, through the ages and beyond, even when Latin evolved from being the language of the masses to the language of the scholarly. To render it more precisely, the early transition and diffusion of Christian faith across Britain and the conversion of the Bible into Latin were not separate incidents, but rather interconnected phenomena. The early believers in Britain, in the midst of hardships and difficulties, clung on to their faith with tenacity. Their highly treasured Latin Bibles became their torchbearers, their anchor in troubled times. These Latin translations, with their clarity and purity, not only stood the test of time, but thrived, becoming a symbol of the relentless strength of faith and the immortal power of the written word. The Latin Bibles acted as a beacon, enlightening and guiding the believers, reinforcing their faith. These Latin translations, with their simplicity and purity, endured for centuries, a testament to the enduring power of faith and the written word.